I hate bullying. It makes sense. Everybody should hate bullying. It's not that big of like a revelation. Like, everyone should hate bullying. Bullying is horrible. Bullying sucks. Seeing it is horrible. Doing it is horrible. Having to deal with it is horrible. And I've been bullied my entire life. Elementary school, kids called me boxer shorts. In middle school, kids stole my pens and pencils. High school, kids made fun of me. It's something I'm used to. But it's something that a few years ago I decided I was no longer going to tolerate. Even though I didn't feel like I was getting bullied anymore, I decided I was no longer going to tolerate seeing other people be bullied. But deciding that and actually implementing it are two completely different things. And I kind of forgot about it for a while. I'd stopped seeing it in my normal life. And then, like, the books and the tweets that I've been seeing lately and reading lately, I've really started bringing it to my forefront of my mind again. Stargirl, I keep going on and on about it because I loved it. But the book is very, very much about bullying. And in fact, I cried reading that book because I just couldn't handle the bullying that these kids were doing to Stargirl. And so it's been on the forefront of my mind. And, I've been seeing, like, on people posting on Twitter that some people were making bad comments in their videos. And it's pretty much akin to bullying. And so it's really, really been on my mind. And then yesterday I was at a football game, and it was a high school football game. These were teenagers. These weren't college students or professional footballers. These are just high school students that we're supposed to be, looking out for, that we're supposed to be guiding and helping to become the best people that they can become while they're still learning who they are. And I was sitting in the very front row, and there were like 100 people behind me, I think. And I started hearing people making comments about breakfast. And I love breakfast. Food, oh my gosh, I love food. I'm all over food. And so I perked up my ears, and I was like, breakfast? Yes, where? Where can I get it? Where can I sign up? And then I realized that they were making fun of one of the football players on the field. And by the time it took me to register what they were saying, because they were loud, I didn't have to strain to hear. They were loud. And they were so loud that other people that were nearby were starting to jump on it too, but in agreement with them, making fun of this little high school student. And I didn't say anything at first because I was trying to figure out what was going on. By the time I figured out that they were fat-shaming this kid, I turned around to look. They had already stopped talking, and so I had no idea who out of the 100 people sitting behind me were the people that were making fun of this kid. I didn't stand up and say something, but it bugged me the whole rest of the football game. Like, I really should have said something, even though I didn't know who the people were. I could have just talked to the people in general that were behind me. Usually, I don't really think about fat-shaming too much, but I just saw Michaela's tweet on Twitter yesterday. And she was talking about this book that was really, really fat-shaming. And so when I heard them making fun of this kid, all I could think about was that tweet. And how angry it made me feel that we're supposed to be supporting these kids, and they're sitting there making fun of them. And, it wasn't even like kids. It was adults that were making fun of this kid. Adults that should know better. And we should all know better. We can be better. We should be better. There's no reason for bullying. There's no reason for us to be making fun of other people. There's no reason for us to be tearing them down. And it's infuriating that this is still a problem and that this is still going on. How are we going to expect kids to not bully each other if the adults are still doing it? And see, that was the thing when I was reading in Stargirl. It was the entire school was bullying this kid, but where were the adults? Where are all the teachers and the administration? It's not like they didn't know what was going on. And I mean, I know it's just a book, and, it's imaginary. But this goes on in real life. And I love it when I see all the programs that teachers are doing now to try and stop bullying, because it's a huge problem. And I remember when I was in school, I'd see people get bullied right in front of the vice principal, and my mom would be like, hello, did you see that? And they'd be like, oh, well, we can't do anything because they're brother and sister. And it's like, who cares if they're brother and sister? If you see someone physically assaulting another person and you're the vice principal, you have the power to do something, and you're choosing not to do something. And it infuriates me that this is still going on. And then we had one guy who was super vocal, and the guy in charge of us had to tell him to shut up because he was ragging on these students. The one team was losing horribly. It was almost a shutout for the whole game. And he was ragging on them to try and encourage them to do better. It's they already feel bad enough that they're losing. They don't need you to tell them they're losing. They know they're losing. They're there on the field. But no, they just have to rag on them. And so I was really glad he got called out on that immediately. But I did learn something really cool from these kids. So I didn't know this was a thing. It wasn't a thing when I was in high school that I know of, but apparently it's a thing now. When someone goes down on the field, all of the players on his team take a knee until that player is able to get back up again. And I noticed it the first time because one of the players on our team had gone down, and our team was all down, and the other team was standing up. And I was like trying to figure out why was our team down and theirs were standing up. And I realized it's because it was our team member that was down on the field. And so at the very last, like 30 seconds of the game, our team was like winning. They were like 40 points ahead, and it was a shutout. And then in the last 30 seconds, the other team finally made a touchdown. And when they were doing the kick afterwards to get the extra points, their kicker got taken down. Like, he got hit hard, and he was down for like a good 5 minutes. And I realized that both teams were down on a knee until this kid got up again. And I just thought, how great is that of these teenagers, and how great of it is of their coach, who I assume is the one who told them to take a knee. I don't know if these kids did it on their own, but whoever was involved, and even the fact that they did do it. You know, we've got adults in the audience that are making, or the crowd that are making fun of these football players. And then we have the football players themselves on the field that were supporting each other. You know, this is the other team, and they were still taking a knee for them. And, you know, all I think is this coach is teaching them, you know, empathy and supporting other people. And I couldn't even think of the word I was talking to my husband about last night. And he was like, sportsmanship. I was like, yes, sportsmanship. Like, they're teaching these kids to be these great people and to support each other, even when it's someone on the other team. And I just, you know, I was so bummed about the adults that were around me. I mean, most of the adults were great, but those few bad seeds. And then to see these teenagers do this small, simple thing that was so great, like, you know, to use the cliche, it restored my faith in humanity. But I couldn't stop thinking about the fact that these adults were bullying this kid and that I didn't do something about it. And that's the thing. We can do something about it. We need to do something about it. And I know so many of you out there, like, are doing things. You guys aren't just sitting by. And sorry, it's like really hot in this car. And that's so great. And I guess part of this video is just encouragement to keep being awesome and keep doing something about it. You know, don't just sit there. Don't just let it happen. You know, if you see your coworkers putting a list on the wall of all the mistakes that another manager has made, whether or not the person being bullied seems like they're not affected by it or seems like they're okay about it, that doesn't make it right. And so keep doing what you guys are doing. If you're standing up for that, if you're saying something, if you're helping the person that's being bullied who can't help themselves, if you're just being that friend that's there for them, or even a stranger who's still there for them. So if you see something like that happening, just do something about it. If you feel like you're about to make some mean comment about somebody, just don't. Stop and think about what you're going to say. If you hear someone making fun of somebody, don't laugh. You know, if you can, say something about it. Do something about it. Help that other person, whether or not they can help themselves. So, I guess that's it. That's my PSA for the day. Not really book related, although there are like a billion books about bullying, because let's face it, this is a huge problem. It makes for great drama in books. But we need to do something about it.